Hey, 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 good evening. How's everyone doing today? And hope you're having a good week. Like, it's Wednesday again. It goes by super quick. But it's good to be back here. I always look forward to chatting with you on the Wednesdays. If you're new here, welcome. This is Trust and Money TV. My name is Trust, and I hope I'm not on my mic. I come on live on Wednesday. And we talk about money here, we talk about personal finances, and I share either a tip or answer a question or talk on a subject around money. That is what we do here. If you hear something that you think might be of benefit to someone, feel free to share this with them, tag them in it as well. If you're not sharing, you can tag them, that's absolutely fine. The other thing as well, if you are watching live, say hi. I can see that there's someone there, say hello. If you're watching it on replay, if you're catching up later on, let me know as well that you are catching up, and whether that's here or on YouTube, which is the other place that I put this on. Feel free to subscribe on there as well. So let me check that I'm live. I think that's all the housekeeping out of the way. Just check that this is working, and then I will dive right in. I did do a sound check today, so we should be on. Excellent. If you can hear me all right, just go ahead and say yes. Yes, okay. I think we're on. Excellent. So I'll go ahead and get started. So you see from the title, I am talking passive income today, which is a word that gets thrown around a lot, and it's not something that I've talked about before, but I have been listening. It is something that I've received in the last week as something that some of the women would like to hear about. So I thought I'll deliver for you and give you some ideas, and take from it what you can. Not everything is going to be right for you, but take from it what you can and leave the rest on the table. Now, while this channel, this page rather, I get confused between YouTube and Facebook, because on YouTube we call it a channel, but yeah, it's a page. I talk a lot about budget and I talk about money management. But there's something I want to probably clarify as well, which would explain why I'm talking about this. This sort of budgeting that I teach it's from a place of abundance, not from a place of scarcity. So it's not budgeting that you're doing because you don't have enough. It's budgeting you're doing because you're the boss. It's you telling your money where to go. So it's not coming from a place of being in hardship. That's the sort of budgeting that I teach. And so when I talk about passive income, it's coming from a place where you know that you have enough. It's just a case of you needing some support to manage it. And I have to be honest, when I got started with personal finance, more than 10 years ago, I was starting from a place of abundance. That's probably going to be the case for most people. I mean, I didn't grow up in a family that had a lot of money. So when I did start, it was because I'd come from, it's not enough, let's figure out how we can manage it. But then over the years, you then grow past that and then realize that this is not just something for people who don't have enough. It's something that wealthy people, they like to know where their money goes, and that's just a good trait to have. So I just want to clarify that to give a bit of perspective, if I can speak today, on this sort of budgeting that I teach. So what is passive income? The way I see it, it's the opposite of what maybe most of us do, which is directly exchanging time for money. So you work so many hours, you get paid this certain amount for those hours, and that's what most of us do. With passive income, you're not working in that format. It's not an hour for hour exchange, because what happens with the sort of work that most of us do is there are only so many hours in the day, so there is a limit on how much you can physically work and still have a life with that sort of exchange. But when you're coming from a place of abundance, we can then be open to, there are other ways to make money, and that's some of what I'm going to talk about today. The way I have divided it into information, so making money from information that you have. I have some of the more traditional routes that you probably think about, which is basically getting your money to work for you. And then some more random things sort of thrown in there, sort of resources. So information, having your money work for you, and resources that you do have. So those are the three broad categories of the things that I'm going to talk about today. So I'm going to start with information. I've heard it said that we are in the information age, and I think that is definitely the case. We've had the industrial age and all of the others, and now we are in information. Information sells, and the first thing I want to talk about on that is something that you know how to do. So if you're watching this and you're over 30, 25, you would have been working for some time now, and there are skills that you do have. There is something that you know how to do. I don't care who you are. There is something that you know how to do, that you're good at. Something that somebody else would like to know how to do, that you might just be the person to help them do that. So the first thing on my list is you could put together a course, a training, for something that you know how to do, and it might take a bit of digging deep to figure out what that is. Something that you'll be quite good at, that you could put together a training, a course for people who learning that skill would make the difference for them. So for example, a bit like what I'm doing here. Having spent all those years mastering personal finance, money, budgeting, and putting that together to teach someone else who that might just be what they need to move on to the next step that they need to go to. And with something like that, once you put that work in at the start to put the training together, course together, whatever that is, once that work is done, every time you help someone with that and you get paid for it, you're not having to do the work over and over and over again. That's done, and that's this sort of passiveness that comes with it. So you're not having to do it over and over again. It's done once and you can get paid for that. The next thing, which is sort of similar to that, and I think, one that probably most of us know about is writing a book, like with the royalties. Again, it's a similar sort of format to what I've talked about before, but this is self-publishing. So these days it doesn't take that much in terms of getting an editor and a publisher and all of those things that you needed to have previously to get yourself published. There are online publishing of books that happens these days that's just a bit more straightforward, and you know what it's like. Every time a copy of that book gets sold, there'll be a royalty that would come to you for that. Again, I don't care who you are. There is experiences that you have, things that over the course of life you have learned that would be beneficial for someone to hear that and read that. And if you need to get a mentor or a coach, someone that has done it before, to sort of guide you through this start, absolutely do that, because that can shorten the amount of time that it would take to do it as well. But that information, it's in there. Take it, use it. Okay, so that was the second one. The other thing to do with information, it's a little bit different. So it's something called affiliate marketing, and I'm going to explain what that means. So most of us, of us here on social media, when we go and eat somewhere really nice and we have a good time, we share it, we tell our friends about it. If you go see a movie and you've really enjoyed it, you would recommend it either to friends. If someone asks you, "Oh, I wonder what's on to go see today," you would tell them that you've seen this and it was really good. And you're just doing that naturally. You're not getting paid for it. Affiliate marketing is basically doing the same thing, but getting paid for it. So sharing something you've enjoyed, something you've genuinely loved that you would share anyway, but get paid for it. So a quick Google search, there are a lot of organizations out there that will pay you to share, recommend they're products that you have genuinely loved, that you would talk about anyway, but every time someone makes a purchase through, you will get given your own link, your own link that you would share every time you're recommending that. And every time someone clicks through that and makes a purchase, you get paid for it. You're not having to spend time for every single person doing any sort of work in that moment in time. It's not a direct exchange of your time and money. And there's so many people that are making some serious amount of money from doing that. Of course, you would have to, create an audience of people that are actually going to not just pay attention to what you say, but also trust that this is genuine. You genuinely love it. That's why you're sharing it, and that takes time, but it does come, and that any day it's the exchange of time versus money. So that's affiliate marketing. If any of this, if you want to chat about it later, feel free to message me. I'll share what it is that I know, and some resources with that as well. So I think those were the things on the information front. I'm going to go on to some more traditional stuff now. So I am looking at things like investment into stocks, bonds, things that you have your money working for you. So one organization that comes to mind for me is the Vanguard. So they are a strong, established organization. They've been around for years and years, and of course, speak to an advisor if you're completely new to it, just to check that what you're investing in is what's going to be right for you, depending on what stage of life you're at. If you are close to retirement, you probably don't want to start investing lots in maybe high risk things at that point. There is something that's going to be appropriate for you, or if you're younger, then you're open to taking a bit more risk. But that's something that once you put it in there, you can automate it. You don't have to do anything to it. It's just there trading for you, getting money in, and there's so many of those websites and organizations out there that will manage your money for you and do it in that way. Similar to that as well is forex trading, and if you're completely new to it, alarm bells are probably going off, but I will tell you something. When you put your savings in the bank and the bank is holding your money, I can tell you it's not just sitting there. They are using that money to take part in these trades for you. They are making money off it. So why not cut out the middleman and actually get some of it back and trade yourself? It does take some time to get your head around to know how to do it, or if you need to find someone to do it for you, but that is there as an opportunity. And again, people are making a lot of money out of stuff like this. So quite heavy stuff there, but that is an option that is there. So the sort of forex trading side of things that can be completely automated. Okay, so that was for the money bit. Things about resources. So what I have down here is, again, it might not apply to everyone. If you own your own home and you have more rooms than you need, why not make money off it? So whether that be completely renting it out, or like most people are doing these days, using it as an Airbnb option, which you have to be living on a rock not to know what Airbnb is. So it's like it's taking over this sort of hotel and space sort of thing, where you have your room advertised and people can book it for temporary stays. Of course, make sure that you check them out properly. If you're renting out a full spare room for something like Airbnb, they do carry out some of the checks for you, so that might be the advantage to that. But if you have a room that's sitting there doing nothing, let it make money for you and add it onto that. So that is not an exhaustive list. Those were just a few things that I put together. The point being, there are so many opportunities out there, and if you miss the start of the call, I'm going to say it again. It's coming from a place of abundance and open to possibilities. Have you noticed the people who tend to have the most money, more money seems to follow them in some way. And I don't think that is coincidence, because if you come in from a place of I have enough to do the things that I need to do, when opportunities like this come your way, you're more likely to take them. And money does like more of itself, and it does tend to multiply quicker in that way. So it's about being open. Like I said, this is not a full list of everything that is out there, but it's just to start the conversation and start thinking beyond exchanging time for money, because there's limit to that. There are ways to make money that don't necessarily involve spending more time away from your family, spending more time away from the things that you love to do. And it's opening your mind to that. And with good money management, which is the core of what we talk about here, getting your personal finances in order, spending as little as possible on the things that are have-tos, you will have money left over, disposable, to then invest and take part in these opportunities that are going to create passive income streams for you, that you're not exchanging your time for money anymore. So I think that was everything I had to cover. Like I said, if there's any of it that, do your research. If you want to chat with me further about any of this, I will try as much as I can, or point you to people who would know better about this. But yeah, that was everything. Yep. Just looking through my note. No, that's it. That's absolutely it. Say hi when you come on. Like I said, share it or tag someone who you think it will be useful for this information. Let them have it. It costs absolutely nothing, and they'll probably be grateful for it. Right, have a good rest of the week, everyone, and I will see you next week. I love hearing from you guys, by the way. Okay, bye.